Whenever we see some amazing AI like a recommendation engine that just gets you, or a model that predicts market trends with scary accuracy, we're really only seeing the finished product. But behind all that magic, there's a ton of work, this invisible labor. And today, we're going to pull back that curtain and talk about the most crucial part of it all, data cleaning.
So, let's start with a simple question. Why does a super smart, futuristic AI need a really good housekeeper? Well, it's the perfect way to think about it, honestly. Because raw data, the stuff that AI feeds on, is almost always a complete mess. It's cluttered, it's disorganized, it's just messy.
And this slide right here shows you exactly what I mean. On the left, you've got the before. Total chaos. You've got extra spaces, weird dollar signs and commas, random NAs. Then on the right, you see the after. It's pure order. Everything is standardized, uniform, and ready for a machine to understand. The whole game of data cleaning is turning that chaotic before into that clean after. And let me be clear, this isn't optional. It's the absolute foundation for getting any kind of result you can actually trust.
The stakes here are just incredibly high. Seriously, just imagine you're trying to calculate the average price of products you sold, but someone made a typo, and a $10 item was entered as $10,000. Bam! Just like that, your entire average is completely thrown off. Your analysis is now worse than useless, it's misleading. And businesses make huge, costly decisions based on this stuff. Okay, it's also probably a good idea to get a couple of key terms straight. You'll hear data handling and data cleaning thrown around. Think of it like this. Data handling is the whole shebang, from loading the data to inspecting it to cleaning it, the whole workflow. But data cleaning is one very specific, very important step in that process. It's the actual act of fixing the errors. Using our metaphor, data handling is managing the entire household, but data cleaning is the sweeping, the scrubbing, the tidying up that makes the house livable. So, how do the pros actually do this? What's the tool for the job? Well, the undisputed industry standard is a software library for Python called Pandas. And if data is like a pile of raw lumber, then Pandas is your complete professional workshop. It's got the saws, the sanders, the drills, everything you need to turn that rough lumber into something polished and reliable.
And there are some really good reasons why everybody uses Pandas. For one, it can read data from pretty much anywhere, spreadsheets, databases, you name it. It also has these amazing functions that let you get a quick snapshot of your data, even if you have millions of rows, so you can spot problems right away. And of course, it has a whole arsenal of built-in tools designed specifically for cleaning and reshaping data. Plus, it plays really nicely with all the other libraries you'd use to build AI models. It's the total package.
Okay, so we know why we need to clean data, and we know what tool we're going to use, but how does it actually work? Let's walk through the core workflow, the step-by-step journey we take to get from that messy, chaotic state to a place of pure clarity. For the most part, you can break this whole process down into 5 key steps. First up, we fix the data types. Then, we figure out what to do with missing data. Third, we tackle messy text. Fourth, we hunt down and remove any duplicates. And finally, number 5, we deal with any extreme values, what we call outliers. This sequence, this is your roadmap for turning a data mess into a data masterpiece.
All right, step 1 is the most fundamental of all, fixing data types. I mean, think about it. An AI can't do math if a person's age is stored as the text 23 years instead of just the number 23. It just doesn't compute. In Pandas, you can use a simple command to convert an entire column at once, making absolutely sure that numbers are treated as numbers, dates as dates, and so on. This is the bedrock. Without this, nothing else works.
Next up, you have to deal with those dreaded blank cells. They're pretty much inevitable. And since missing data can totally break your analysis, you have to make a choice. Sometimes, if it's just a few missing values here and there, you can just delete those rows. But more often, you want to fill in that gap with something logical, maybe the average value for that column, or just a 0. The right strategy really depends on what the data is and what you're trying to do with it.
Oh, and text data? It is famously messy. You've got extra spaces at the beginning or end, you've got inconsistent capitalization, different abbreviations for the same thing. To a computer, New York with a lowercase n and New York with a capital N are 2 completely different cities. But with a couple of simple commands in Pandas, you can trim all the spaces, make everything lowercase, and standardize everything in seconds. It's absolutely crucial for being able to group and count things correctly.
Okay, then it's time to go on a hunt for duplicates. If the exact same customer or the exact same sale shows up in your data more than once, it's going to inflate all your numbers and completely skew your results. It's like counting the same person twice in a survey. Luckily, with a single line of code, you can scan millions of rows and just zap any of those identical entries, ensuring every single record in your data set is unique.
And that brings us to our final big cleaning step, handling outliers. And this chart just says it all, doesn't it? An outlier is a value that is just wildly different from everything else. Like here, you have 2 sales around $50 and then one for $10,000. That massive sale is going to completely warp any average you calculate, so you have to investigate. Is it a typo, or was it a real but very rare event? Your job is to figure that out.
But here's the thing. Just blindly following those 5 steps like it's a checklist, that's not enough. The difference between someone who's okay at this and someone who's truly great isn't just knowing the commands. It's about the mindset. It's about having the eye of a true craftsman.
This quote really just nails it. Real data work is about seeing what needs attention, not just what's on the list. What that means is, it's not about just running a script and calling it a day. It's about being genuinely curious. It's about actively looking for things that just seem a little off, and having the patience to dig in and figure out why.
And this is what elevates data cleaning from just a technical chore to a real craft. Let's go back to our housekeeping analogy. You're not just sweeping the middle of the floor where everyone can see. You're getting down on your hands and knees to find the dust bunnies under the couch. You're wiping the smudges off the windows. It's about taking real pride in making the final result truly spotless, because you know that what you're building depends on it. So, after all of this painstaking, meticulous, and let's be honest, sometimes tedious work, what's the big payoff? Why do we obsess over this so much? Well, it all comes down to a single powerful word. But first, get ready for this number. It might actually shock you. Many data scientists report that they spend up to 90% of their time on a project not building fancy AI models, but doing this exact work, cleaning and preparing the data. That's 90%. That's how critically important this is. Because at the end of the day, all of this work, it's about more than just getting the numbers right. It's about building a foundation of trust. Every single prediction, every insight, every decision that an AI makes is only as good, only as reliable, and only as trustworthy as the data it was trained on. Garbage in, garbage out, as they say.
So I'll just leave you with this one final thought. If you knew the foundation of a building was cracked, unstable, and full of holes, would you trust anything built on top of it? Would you live in that house? Of course you wouldn't. And in the world of data and AI, clean data is that foundation.